Starting Lasima, everyone was telling me, go and get a small studio, start with 1 or 2 photographers, get 2 cameras. I said no. So starting small and going step by step, I think people might like it. But for me, I think the other way around. Start big, it's a challenge, it's not easy. You have to work hard, and luck sometimes plays a big role, and faith.
Dr. Rasha Sulman is the visionary leader behind the booming entertainment industry here in Dubai. Her journey from Wasima Productions, where we're at right now, which is such a blessing to be in, as well as the empowering path that she's done to allow women, especially in business, to flourish, is a journey of creativity, of resilience, and of purpose. I'm very, very honored to have a queen herself right by my side for this episode of Welcome to the Now, Dr. Rasha Sulman. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure
It is,
having you here and in Dubai.
it is my pleasure and honor, and I will have to say, I don't think I've known anyone so forthright about convincing somebody to move to this beautiful city as much as you have in the first 30 minutes of me and you knowing each other.
Yeah, of course. It's a blessing, and I think you'll move by next month. We'll have a bet on that.
The challenge was initially like, how long are you staying? 2 weeks? And then, but how long is the conference? So it was first, I'll convince you in 2 weeks, and then it became, the conference is done in 2 days, or I'll convince you in 3 days.
Yeah.
But like, I thank you for giving me a month now.
Yeah,
So,
at least.
well, let's begin by taking it back to your journey. I am fascinated about what life was like for you growing up.
It's a long story. For me, I grew up in Sudan. I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. I was the pampered one, my dad's sweetheart. But since my early beginnings, I don't like to do the things everyone is doing. I always have my way. And it's the first thing started. All my family, my brothers and sisters are into architecture and engineering. So I decided not to. Since I was young, although I was so pampered, but my dad used to push me for a lot of challenges. And I think this made my early childhood a very, let's say, challenging, yes, but I used to do a lot of things which I feel I cannot. But I think this put a lot of self-confidence since that time. And I used to, they used to joke, and one of our drivers back home, he used to call me the boss, although I was the youngest at that time. And even my older siblings, when they want to go anywhere, he asks them, did you tell the boss or no? Because I get frustrated if I don't do what I want to do. So, and I think this self-confidence is from my dad. He is an engineer and one of the first architectural engineers in Sudan at that time, who started building modern buildings. Our house was a very warm house. My mom is a stay-at-home mom, so she's always there for us. But my dad is always pushing us through all the challenges. And one of his ways is there is nothing impossible in life. And I've been hearing this since I was very young. He did what he can to make us live. Although he was a civil servant, we're coming from a good family, but it's not like super rich. But he made us, I think, go into summer schools, and where we learned more discipline. I went to a nun school, which is in Sudan. In Sudan, we live all religions in a very peaceful environment. We love each other. We're friends. At that time, I was in a nun school. It's called Sister School, and one of the oldest. It's a private school. And I think this is where we learned the discipline more, and where we learned how to achieve what are your goals in life. And because nuns are spiritual, so they always taught us the meaning of life. So it's not just about education or let's say the
values, maybe.
the values.
The values, yeah.
Yeah. So for us, I think that was the beginning. And Sudan at that time was very peaceful, and we have a very knitted social fabric. I think same as Philippines.
Yes.
Moms, dads, aunts, uncles.
Everyone knows about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone has an opinion about everything, especially within the family.
Yes, and you have to comply.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll get the. But yes, it was a very, very healthy upbringing. One of the things that I always remember, being the youngest, and always having challenges, because my elder sister and my older brother, they're always trying to guide me, but I'm always the rebellious. No, I think this is the first word I've ever learned. Before mama and baba, I think it was no. But it was, and I've lived most of my life in Sudan. Then I decided, when I went to school, I decided I want to be a doctor, because all my brothers and sisters are engineers. And my dad was like, he was not liking it, at the end he wants us all to join his
Office,
office,
firm, yeah.
yes. But I decided not to, and I think for me, studying dentistry, I studied in University of Khartoum. It was an aim and a target I had since I was young, because I had some issues with my teeth. I used to go to the dentist a lot, and I used to like the way he's, wearing clean, and always the clinic is
It's tidy.
tidy, and appointments, and this is how my brain works.
I'm surprised as a rebel child, as you call yourself, that you found that fascinating.
Yes.
This tidiness, this cleanliness, huh?
True. And at that time, I had some issues, and usually I think of the dentist as my hero. When I go, I'm getting rid of the pain.
Most kids actually are so
No.
scared.
It's not me. It's not me. So that was a target for me, and
Wow.
I made it. So I think one of the things that I've always learned, especially growing up in Sudan, cultural backgrounds, especially schooling. When we were in school, we were from different backgrounds, from different ethnicities, from different religions. So I think that was the first time we started learning how to deal with different cultures and even different nationalities from that time. So for me, it was maybe one of the best part in my life was definitely childhood.
You talk about courage in a sense of being inside of you because of this rebellious spirit that you keep on mentioning, which is amazing that for most kids, mom and papa is the first word they say.
Yeah.
But almost you said that it's the rebelliousness that's inside of you, this fire that already began where when your whole family was going into something, you decided to go somewhere else. And I think it's really amazing. Even more amazing is the fact that most kids are scared of the dentist. You, on the other hand, found it so fascinating. And my next question is, as you moved in that realm, what was about it as you finally studied and actually became a dentist? What did you find most fascinating about being in the medical world that fed your rebellion?
Being in the medical, I think, first of all, was the challenge. In Sudan, we had GPAs. For you to get into the best school was University of Khartoum at that time. And so you need to get the highest grade to get into medical, which is 90% plus. So I think that was one of the things that I wanted to prove to myself that I can.
So it's this target you had.
Yes. Both my brother and sister studied in London, in UK, one in Reading and one in London University. I decided again not to. I wanted to stay in Sudan. Although my dad was pushing me a lot to go and study in the UK for my future, I think it would have been better. I did for my postgraduate later, but for me, I'm a very social person. I love to be around my friends, my family, and being the youngest, I was at home with my dad and mom for a long time, alone, because both of them went to the UK and I was young. So I still need the family support, but from my perspective, when I get into medical and dental at that time, we start together and then we split and second year or third year. It was a very challenging course to take. Only 50 out of the 10,000 that apply can get in, and out of the 50, only maybe 20 or 25 would continue. So for me, that was one of the fascinations. Second, I am the kind of who like to help people a lot since I was young. It's just in me that, it's part of my DNA. And sometimes I get scolded from my dad or mom because I used to help people, even if it's something mine, I can just give it away and share it without even thinking. And until now, I'm the same. Sometimes, it could be my food in my lunchbox or some money that I have, and maybe this is the only money that I have at that time. I could give it to someone who needed, and I can stay without So for me, it was a bit of both. So giving back, and I preferred dentistry over medicine for two reasons. The first, I was thinking way in the future, because I see that one of the highest, I research, and one of the highest paid jobs is dentists, lawyers and dentists.
Wow.
Not medical.
Really?
Although you need to spend more time in medical, so it's like a math equation in my head.
And once again, being the rebellious side that you have, you're like, how can I do something kind of funky and different?
Exactly, and quickly, and I can, be...
You're forerunner already in there and
Exactly.
everything. Wow.
So that was my thinking at that time. The second reason is I can see the outcome immediately. When you're in medical and you're treating someone, it might take years and months, but in dentistry, you would see the change immediately. You see your patient happy immediately. I think these are the things that really made a difference in my life. So maybe, and this is what I'm thinking, why dentistry when I could go into medicine? And that was my dad's debate at that time. And you know what I did? I applied for 2 places only. I could have applied for 4, which is dentistry, medicine, any others.
Yeah.
I applied to dentistry and business.
Which in a way is the world that you've now found yourself in
True.
here in Dubai.
True.
It's the appearance, which as a dentist, you want to make sure you help people get their appearance. And this is your gift to them as you help give back in a sense. But then this rebellion of something doing different allows you to go into a realm that is quite challenging. And here in Dubai, it's a growing situation that now you're leading. How did that transition happen of you being in this medical dental world and suddenly being in the world of production and entertainment, which I don't think your father would even have thought that this is the direction to be like the
He's
Oprah
still
of Dubai.
asking me, where did you learn this? When he comes here, who taught you this? Where did you get this from? Even my mom is like, I don't know how your brain works. The transition for me was, again, deciding that I want to do a specialty in dentistry which is not available in the Middle East at that time. So I applied. Again, it was one of the toughest courses in King's College, University of London. Only 9 get accepted per
Wow.
year. At that time, I was married with 2 children. One was 3, the other was 3 months. When I get the acceptance, and I've just have a baby, which is 3 months, and everyone around me was telling me, because the application process takes 18 months since I apply, and then interviews, and I was aiming at that university because it's one of the best dental institutes in Europe. So it's either do it the right way or don't.
I love it.
So I had to wait. I apply, first interview, second interview, third interview. When I got the acceptance, my second baby was 3 months.
Wow. So it really took that long for that whole process, huh?
Yes.
So in a sense, the entire time you were waiting, almost waiting longer from the acceptance than the time that you need to have your baby.
Exactly. Because I felt that maybe I'll not be accepted. When I graduated from University of Khartoum, I was the first in my batch. I had 4 prizes out of 6 for the university. So I have a very first class, very high rank. So that gave me an edge to be accepted there. That's number 1. So I thought, you know what, let me do it. From my perspective, I said, you know what, I will not lose anything. And I've waited. And to be honest, when it reached 12 months, I lost hope. And then suddenly after the baby is 3 months. Everyone around me was telling me, don't. You have a baby, 3 months, can you take that? And it's like, yes, I did. I took them both with me. I went all the way to London. I had my mom, and that helped me a lot in this. I took the challenge. It was 4 years. Taking care of the kids. Sometimes I send them back home to Sudan, and I stay if I have exams, and I come back. Flying back and forth was like, for me, sometimes a weekend I'm going back. It's a 6-7 hours flight. It's not close. So it was a challenge. Everyone around me was not like, you know what, you'll start the first year and then you will not continue. But for me, it was a dream. I have to do it.
And this was for specifically?
It was the specialty program, which is a mix between clinical and research, which is the highest. It's called MClean Dent.
Okay.
It's one of the highest degrees in dentistry. And I did it in prosthodontics, which is
prosthodontics, yeah.
And my subspecialty is cosmetic dentistry. At that time,
Wow.
it was 2012. Cosmetic dentistry was not really well known here in the region. And for some reason, I decided to. In the beginning, I was not going to take the same specialty. But when I went there and met with the faculty and everything, I understood that this is something going to have a future.
Would you consider that part of your life, that 4 years of going to that specialty while having 2 kids, would you consider that the biggest challenge of your life?
I wish. I wish.
Tell me more.
I thought. Then for me, it was maybe the hardest. I thought at that time, years being away from my children, bringing them back and forth. I finished, and then I moved with them back to Sudan. Then 3 months down the line, I got a call from a headhunter here. I have not applied for anything, although I had Dubai in my mind as my next step. But at that time, I was thinking, no, let me go back to Sudan, feel the family a little bit. The kids would grow up a little bit around their grandmas, grandpas, so they get the culture. And 3 months, I got a call. At that time, I was presenting in one of the biggest conferences here in ADEC. It's called ADEC. It's the biggest dental conference in the region, second in the world, I think. At that time, I was presenting my thesis as a lecture. So I got a call, and then someone on the other side is telling me, we have a job for you. It's like, what job? This company is big, and they are looking exactly for a woman, Arabic speaking, specialist. She have to be in prosthodontics or conservative dentistry, yes. And I said, you know what, at that time, after finishing your specialty, you're a specialist, you're a consultant. You cannot work in a company, if you think of it. And she said, you know what, this is something that you need to explore. Like I said, sales, it's not sales, like sales is not a good, but me finishing 4 years and
all the work that
that have been done.
Situation to then do something almost once again completely different.
And when I told my parents and my husband at that time, he said, you know what? No, you're a specialist. You have your own, you're associate in a big practice here. Why are you changing your life and the kids' life? And I said, you know what? For me, after some time, I found dentistry is too routine. Again, my rebellious part plays. It's like I said, you know what? They told me, you know what, come, you're coming for your conference. We'll pay for everything. Come have a meeting with us. I said, okay. Free ticket, free hotel.
After going to school for so long.
Yeah, and I get to do more shopping. It's the money. So I said, okay, I came. When I sit down and for them to understand what is the job, it turned out to be a totally different path from what I was saying. I didn't even, it was existing in the industry at all. For me, I use the materials, but for me to be the expert behind, that was a challenge. And then I said, you know what, let me try, give me 3 months, and I will, I don't want to lose my clinic and my patients back home. So I said, okay, but I cannot sign anything. They were smart. The first month I joined, 3M is one of the biggest companies in the world, one of the Fortune 500. And the first month I joined, I can still remember April 15. May 5th, I was in the headquarters in Minnesota.
Hopefully it wasn't December or January when it's freezing.
Oh my God, it was not. If it is, I think I was...
you would quit already. Be like, guys, thank you, but we're not going to do this anymore.
Exactly.
It's too darn cold. You think London was bad? Now you're going to bring me to Minnesota?
Exactly.
Dubai was your teaser.
Exactly.
Dubai was just for me to say, no, it's actually warm, but really, we're bringing you to Minnesota.
True. At that time, it was a bit cold for me also. I'm coming from Sudan. And here in Dubai, it was, in May, it was 35, 40.
Okay.
So for me, at that time, it was cold. And when I went there, I found a different world than I was living. What I was doing is like 10% of the dental industry, which is the end result. The science on the back, it was huge. The amount of training I got in R&D, in presentation skills, and I think this is where my business skills have started.
But also media, possibly.
And media to kick. The first thing I got was presentation skills training with one of the companies that is training senators, how to talk, how to pitch, when to raise your voice, where to stand behind when you're presenting, to the right of the screen, to the left of the screen. How do you talk to audience? How do you close a deal? How do you make the language easy for everyone to understand? Everything. And for me, it was a science. So I came back completely convinced that this is my way forward. I came back, I signed. I got my kids back from Sudan, and I started my journey 13 years ago with 3M. Now, because I'm responsible for scientific, basically what I do is I represent the company in all the conferences, and I'm responsible for the scientific marketing, which is the marketing communication. What would the customer needs to hear, but from a lingo which they understand, which is the medical language.
It's almost like the user experience in a sense, to make sure that you actually have a connection. Because it's really challenging, and I know this, is like, it's challenging for a company to sell a scientific product if the community that they're trying to sell to has no idea what they're talking about.
Exactly.
So they kind of have to like know each other. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm the bridge between the scientific R&D teams and the consumer market. Because I have the background of the science and the R&D and how the materials work best, and at the same time with the local medical here. So at that time I was responsible for the full region, for Middle East and Africa. And for me, it was a big challenge. From a dentist, suddenly I'm sitting in a board meeting with a big team. We have to manage, and we have to create marketing, communications, and it was a new path for me.
But clearly it prepared you to do something as massive as this. I mean, Lassima Productions, this is the studio that we're in right now. For me, may be the biggest soundstage I've ever worked and recorded in, obviously thanks to you. And actually, funny enough, in most of the podcasts I've done, we've gone to different studios around the world to also give love to the studios and production studios. But this is like a studio. So it's grand, it's big, but it's that part of rebellion of who you are inherently. So was that being in 3M and having to then communicate with people the right way in the proper format, was this the inspiration to creating Lassima Productions?
Yes. For me, we work with photographers, we work with marketing teams, we work with production teams to create our Marcom, or marketing communications. And this is something that was, for us as a team, it was a bit difficult. Because if you have a product and you want to launch it, for example, you need to start a branding. So the branding part would be with a marketing company. Then you need to create some content for the marketing, which is marketing communication. Then you go for the production to do the content. And then you want to launch, you will go to a third company to do your events. So what I thought is, why don't I make everything under one roof? So it's a one-stop shop. If you have a product, we can, from the white label up to the launch, this is something that you can do in-house. One of the problems we had is every camera is different every time you shoot a commercial, for example, or a product. When the specifications are completely different, you cannot mix and match photos or videos or footage. So each time with the studio was not a good, it didn't give us a good result. The other thing which pushed me into production as well, again, as part of me giving back to the community. By the way, I am the vice president of the Sudanese community in Dubai. And at that time, Expo was coming in 2020. And Sudan was at a very fragile period. It was just changing. And as part of my giving back to the community, I was asked, to be honest, to take the role of media and marketing director for the Sudan Pavilion in Expo.
Another grand thing, another big situation.
And another push towards this. So at that time, I started, but I started small. Doing some shoots here, some shoots there. I have a small team at that time. So when I moved and I took over the project, it was a 6 months project and 2 years to prepare. And that was only volunteering. So I made it from my heart. And for Sudan, in a time where it needs our support, our effort, as young Sudanese who have moved outside and we got some exposure. So we want to give back to Sudan at that time because, we're getting out of a very big black pit. That was the second time, again, as part of 3M, it was in my DNA. Then when it came to the pavilion, I had to fly teams from here to Sudan to have 4K aerial shots because the technology was not there. We have created a library for Sudan for the next generations to show the resources. And at that time, we were thinking my target was investment, to attract investments to Sudan. So that was my second push towards Lasima. Again, I had to work with different companies, with different photographers, with different marketing, with different event management companies. So this is when Lasima was born,
in a sense. I think it's really amazing how a high performer like yourself continues to evolve, and you see a challenge or you see an interest, and then you go for it. But you don't just go for it; you go big for it. Has there been any situation where the challenge that you took might have actually been too big for you, or was there any big situation that you didn't even think you could get through as a challenge?
Starting Lasima, everyone was telling me, go and get a small studio, start with 1 or 2 photographers, get 2 cameras. I said, no. I want to be in the best place where the big players are. This is where we are now. I want to have the best technology ever. I want to start where everyone ended. I want the best team. And of course, you can see we have different nationalities, getting the best talent in the market. We call ourselves Lasimans.
Lasimans. Who came up with it? Did you come up with that?
Of course. For me, we're family, and we're building this together. Starting small, I think, from my thinking, how many media and marketing companies are there in Dubai? Thousands. how can I compete with thousands? How many big companies in our row, where you are now? 10? 5 of them are the big 5. So I think location is the most important. When I do, and part of it is why I got big projects. One of the reasons that you get business is your location. If someone sees that you are X in an address, which is, I don't know where, it doesn't make sense.
Yes. There's
But
a second questioning.
exactly.
Yes.
But when he sees that you are, like now in Production City, where the biggest studios are in the whole of Dubai, I think that's a statement. So for me, that was the most important. So starting small and going step by step, I think people might like it. But for me, I think the other way around. Start big. It's a challenge. It's not easy. You have to work hard. And luck sometimes plays a big role, and faith.
I'll go. That's first of all amazing what you've built, and the fact that you step up to the plate to make sure you face that challenge is it's once again, it's not courage with how inside of you. I think it's the rebellious spirit that you have that tells that person behind you that, oh, you can't do it, or the other people around you that say they can't
Everyone
do it,
said,
to say like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm actually going to do this. But what I'd like to ask is, has there been any type of challenge, business or personal, that you thought that you might not actually be able to like complete or face?
I've been through a lot of challenges, but I think 3 of them are the most difficult to overcome. The first one was my divorce. And at that time, kids were very young. I was a single mom. And at that time, I decided I want a better life with them. So very challenging. Coming from a Sudanese background, for us, divorce is not acceptable. It's a taboo. You feel ashamed if you are. And at that time, I stood up for myself. Of course, my mom was not supportive. But again, my dad was super supportive. And he said, if that's what you want, then that's what you want. You have our support all the way. And I took the challenge, and I've raised 2 amazing boys. They were my life. And the target is to bring them up as 2 amazing gentlemen who respects everyone. Again, they had my DNA in achieving challenges, rebellious. They don't like the easy way. They're my life. I grew up with them because when I got married, I was very young. And to me, they were my life. So it was a difficult time, and I thought that would be the most difficult time in my life, and I've passed it, and I said yay, and I started doing a lot of work and traveling more and doing more. And
Then you realized I was only the first one.
yes, July 16, 2022 was a day to remember. I lost my son. He was 16 years old. He was so close to my heart. Both of them are, but he's different. He will never go to sleep without hugging me. We grew up together. I was in a Zoom call. And 3 p.m., That day I decided I'm not going to work. He said, "Mommy, are you okay? Why are you're not going to work?" I said, "I'm not feeling well." He said, "Okay, stay home." He came in the middle of the Zoom call. He said, "Mommy, I need a hug." I was telling him, "You know what? I'm still in the Zoom." He said, "Close the camera." I closed the camera. I hugged him. He's the always huggy person. Very humble, very ambitious. He was in grade 11. He was applying to study AI engineering. We were looking at courses at that time. And I said, "Okay, are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I just want a hug." I hugged him tight and he said, "Is lunch ready?" I said, "Maybe in half an hour." He said, "You know what? I'm gonna get a nap. I'll sleep for a little bit. Wake me up when lunch is ready because I'm meeting my friends in the mall." Half an hour later, the nanny went to wake him up and he was not waking up. She was coming very scared. And I said, "You know what? Maybe he's playing a game, so I'm a doctor." When I went and I saw him, at that point I knew he was gone. But for me, I still have doubts. Of course, we called the ambulance and I was trying to control myself because my other son was there, Muhammad, and he was in shock and he was telling me, "No, you know what? He will be okay." I knew at that point he was not. And I was trying to calm Muhammad down and it's like, that's life. And I wanted to ground him. I didn't know where I got the courage. Till this point, when I remember, I didn't know how I was standing up. I had to take him when the paramedics was pronouncing that he's gone. He told me, "Do you want to stay with him?" I said, "Yes." "Can you close the door?" And I took my other son in. I swear to God, I could not even stand. But I had to ground the other one. Made him sit down. It's like in Islam, we pray once someone is dead and we start reading the Shahada, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And Muhammad was in shock. He was not crying, he was not anything, but for me, that was a shock of my life. I felt that everything I was doing has zero meaning. For a person who was very young and energetic, and he built Lasima with me. He was part of choosing the name, logo, color code, everything. So for me, it was a shock. But you know what? It took a lot of faith in God that I should be okay for him. I see him always in my dreams. And always the words, "Mama, I'm okay." To me, it was everyone around me was expecting that I will not survive because he was so close to the point that we go out all the time together, everything we do together since the morning for months. I expect my door to knock in the morning. Then again, I come from a very religious family. all my roots, and I just have to live. And I was looking at my other son. He was breaking very quickly. So I had to hold him up and hold myself up. I went through therapy to be able to start again. I think at that time, I felt that was the worst shock that I can get. 3 months later, war started in Sudan. A lot of my family, loved ones, our house, our childhood, all the memories I was telling you in the beginning was gone in a day. So I think I took it as a lesson from God that no matter what you think is too much to handle, there's always more. You have to have faith. You have to believe. And again, in Islam, we have a verse which means you have to say thank you for whatever things you have, good or bad. We call it ibtila. It's, for us, it makes you closer to God. It puts you in a place where, you know what, I have to have faith, otherwise I'll have a bigger knock.
That's one of those things that I think sometimes many people don't have this anchor. Many people going through these challenges, these big challenges for you, after overcoming so many already, it's often how people end up going to the deep end. Besides making sure that they have therapy, is having this anchor, this faith, this understanding that you must go on. And so I wanted to, first of all, say thank you for sharing that story, and for allowing yourself to be vulnerable and authentic, to welcome to the now, because this is the now. And I would like to know if by any chance have you thought about it, if you had a message to all the mothers out there that have gone through what you've gone through, not just obviously with the death of your son, but from the country and even from the personal aspect from your marriage, what would be the biggest message you would have to moms, wives, women in general out there?
Be courageous. Nothing is impossible. You're always enough. You can do whatever you want if you have the will. And whenever there is a will, there is a hope. I think women are one of the most powerful creatures. It's not just because I'm a woman, but we multitask. You're a mom, you're a boss, you are a doctor, you are a driver, you are the cook, you are everything. So multitasking is not difficult. Any challenge, if you put your heart to it, you can easily ace it. Always aim high. I think that's one of my, there's no point of aiming low. Be yourself, I think. Love yourself. I think lots of moms think that if they love others more than themselves, and I think I learned this the hard way, that, she'll be the best mom. Love yourself first, I think, so you would be able to give to others that love. Otherwise, you reach a point where you feel that you're burnt out. So it's very important to set a target, work for it, and you can reach. There's no impossible.
You are inspirational as you are courageous and graceful. And I honor you and the challenges you've gone through, as well as your ability to overcome all of them. So as we wrap up this episode, there's one question I always ask people, all my guests. It's something rooted in science, and as a moment of science and of creativity, this question I ask is to every guest comes from the world of positive psychology. In positive psychology, there's something called the gratitude letter. The gratitude letter is a handwritten letter that somebody writes and would technically really give it to somebody in front for the gratitude they feel for that person. And usually it's somebody maybe you haven't seen in a long time, maybe somebody you've had a fight with, maybe even somebody who you just haven't thanked your entire life. And so what scientists have found is that if you write this letter to somebody with your pure heart, it will not, and give that letter to somebody, and it will not only boost your overall well-being scores to make you feel good, joyful for an extended period of time, it'll keep that extension and that feeling in you for 3 to 4 weeks. And so my question for you is that if there was somebody that you would like to write this gratitude letter to, who would that person be and why? And I would like to have you say that in front of the camera when you take a moment to think about it.
It's definitely to my son, Ahmed. I would like to thank him for all the times that we've spent together, for the last message that he sent me before he passed. You're the best mom in the world. I would kick any mom in the face if they change you. He was funny. He made me strong. He supported me in building most of my businesses. I would like to thank him for the little time that he spent in life, but to the great joy that he brought to my life and to his brother's life. Thank you, and we miss you so much. But I know that you're always with us. I can see you everywhere. I can feel you everywhere. I can feel the pat on my back. I can feel the love still in the air. Thank you very much for everything. I know we will meet one day, hopefully in heaven.
Dr. Rasha, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For sharing your time, your wisdom, your strength to me and to everyone else that's listening today. I honor you and I honor your journey. Thank you for being on Welcome to the Mill.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, and I'll see you next month in Dubai.
Everybody, Dr. Rasha Sulman, her amazing journey, the courage that she used to face most of the challenges in her life, both personal and business, yet finding the way to be resilient and to continue to be a leader for many. We're truly, truly honored. See you next time.